Is there anyone in America who's not following what's going on in Ukraine? Turn on the television every single day for another heartbreaking scene. And you wonder about those poor people, those families at the train station, where the mother holding the baby is kissing her husband goodbye and wonders if she'll ever see him again. She takes that train most times to Poland. And an interesting thing has happened. Poland now has received about 1.5 million refugees from Ukraine. We estimate that 3 million Ukrainians have left their country, 3 million refugees. The Polish ambassador spoke to us last week at a meeting, and he said, I hope you've noticed something. We don't have any refugee camps in Poland. The people who get off that train are greeted by Polish families who bring them into their homes. They welcome these refugees. They're not the only country in Europe that does that. There are only 5 million people living in Ireland. They've agreed to accept 100,000 Ukrainian refugees. And you look at the United States of America and you wonder, how would we have reacted to this situation? 3 million displaced people in Ukraine out of a 40 million population. What is a comparable number in the United States? Well, it's the state of Texas. 29 million people, if they were in a matter of 3 weeks displaced from their home and sent out around the nation, around the region, trying to find a place to call home. Would America respond? Would we open our doors to those refugees? And I just suspect it's possible that many of the European countries that are accepting Ukrainians are accepting people who by and large look like them, by and large have their same types of religion and culture and background. And it's a fact of life that when it comes to choosing refugees who are acceptable, we are much more caring when they look like our own. And when they don't, we're not as welcoming. I hope that the United States will show not just by appropriated funds, but by appropriated values that we share the feeling of the people of Poland and others, not just for these refugees, but other refugees. Now, there are some among us who just say flat out, make no mistake, I don't want a single one coming into this country. I don't want another immigrant, not one. And if you're going to come up with ideas on how to bring more immigrants in this country, count me out. We have colleagues just like that. I know. I've spoken to them. I've listened to them. I've watched them over the years. Colleagues who never vote for an immigration bill, would not even consider it. And I just don't understand that. We are a nation of immigrants. My mother was an immigrant. I'm proud of that fact. Her naturalization certificate sits behind my desk because it defines who I am and where I come from. We haven't updated this legal immigration system in America in now 32 years. 32 years. In 2013, we tried to change it. I worked with a group of 8, led by John McCain and Schumer and Menendez and Bennett and Graham, and I'm missing some here along the way, Senator Flake. We passed a bipartisan comprehensive immigration bill. Some Republicans wouldn't even vote for that, even though it contained more money for border security than we had ever appropriated. The bill passed the Senate 68-32. It provided a path to citizenship for millions of immigrants with deep roots in this country. I thought it was the answer. The Republicans wouldn't consider it in the House, wouldn't even take it up. It would have established new protections for American workers, would have cleared the green card backlog, which is one of the reasons we're here today, and it was substantially increased future legal immigration. As I said, it wasn't taken up in the House, and then came the Trump administration. We saw unprecedented attacks on legal immigrants, the Muslim ban, the lowest refugee admissions targets for the United States of America in decades. Do you know what inspired us to create refugee admission targets in the United States? Our reflection on what we did during World War II, turning away the SS St. Louis with hundreds of passengers, Jewish people, trying to escape the Holocaust in Europe. We turned them away. Many of them went back to Europe to die in the Holocaust. And after that experience, we said as a nation, that isn't what America is going to be in the future. Both parties are going to stand up and speak up for refugees and admissions into this country. and we did it consistently until the last president. Last year, I convened a bipartisan immigration negotiation that dragged on for months. Senator Cornyn was speaking to it when I entered the room, so I didn't hear all he said, John, so I won't dwell on it. I was disappointed because there were just people who were sitting at that table who wanted not one more immigrant. Maybe it's partisan on my part, maybe it is, that I believe we're a nation of immigrants and we would be stronger if we had them. One of the most significant challenges that the chairman of the subcommittee just addressed, that's the lack of green cards. The numbers are stunning. 4 million future Americans, 4 million, are stuck in the family green card backlog overseas. Many of them are family members who want to be reunited with their families. I thought we were for family values, but we changed that family migration into something called chain migration, and many people among the Senate membership look on it in a negative way. So with 4 million family members waiting to be reunited with their families overseas, how many family green cards do we issue each year? 226,000. Do the math. And more than 875,000 immigrants are stuck in the employment green card backlog in the United States. 875,000. We issue 140,000 employment green cards per year. One of the most heartbreaking consequences of the green card backlog is its impact on innocent children, and I know we're going to hear about that today. They've grown up in America. They believe this is their home. They want to be part of its future. They're college students. They're bright and ready to go. But current law strips them of their legal status when they reach the age of 21. As a result, they are, quote, aging out at 21. Athulia Rajkumar, and forgive me if I didn't pronounce your name correctly, one of our witnesses is just such a person. Remarkable persistence despite tremendous obstacles. We'd be a better nation if you were a citizen here, and I hope we can make that happen. That's why I'm proud to sponsor Chairman Padilla's bipartisan bill, America's Children Act, which will provide a path to citizenship to you. And I also commend my House colleagues for including a path to citizenship for so-called documented dreamers. I introduced the DREAM Act 21 years ago in this room. Before that, if you ask people who are the dreamers, they'd say they're a British rock group, aren't they? No, there are a lot of young people who, for over 2 decades, have been looking for a chance. I've also introduced the Relief Act, which is based on the bipartisan 2013 Comprehensive Immigration Bill. It will lift the arbitrary country caps that limit the number of green cards that can go to immigrants for any single country in a given year. We need to help everyone stuck in the green card backlog, which is why this act would clear the backlog in 5 years, not 20, 5 years. Keep American families together. Also working closely with the House Judiciary Committee on the legal immigration reforms and Build Back Better. I hope the Senate will pass some measure like that this year. And though we have our disagreements, I want to thank Senator Cornyn for partnering with me to introduce the bipartisan Healthcare Workforce Resiliency Act. John, I don't know if you checked the co-sponsorship lately. We're doing pretty good. I think we got a chance to pass that. Addresses the plight of immigrant doctors and nurses stuck in the green card backlog. Strengthening our immigration system will make us a better country. Opening our doors to refugees will remind us of the goodness of the American people. Let's get the job done. Thank you, Chairman Padilla.